Hello, everyone. Welcome to LOCKBEARD Phenomena number 44. It's April 14th, 2022. UFO hearing coming up. Judy's here. Welcome. She says, hello, LOCKBEARD. I'm sitting in my chair outside with my feet in the grass. Mr. Lee's here. Welcome. Mark Dodman. It's a good day, Mr. Lee. Judy can't hang out too long as I have to head out. Mr. Lee says, Mark, how are you? Good day, man. Ernie's here. So, most of y'all are Bigfoot community. I'm not sure if I've noticed you so much around the UFO stuff, but I mean, it's something pretty big going on with it. And, this coming week, the government may end up revealing more after that very disappointing report that they did. So, let's just start. Let's look at, I mean, it's just, there's not much to tell about it so far, but yeah, it's pretty important point in history.
So next week, Congress will hold an open congressional hearing about UFOs, yes, unidentified flying objects. This is the first time this is happening, a hearing in over 50 years. Two top defense intelligence officials are slated to answer questions from the House Intelligence Committee. The hearing coming on the heels of an intelligence report last year, you may remember, that we featured. It found the vast majority of the 144 incidents of unidentified aerial phenomena reviewed over the last 2 decades could not be explained and were not the work of the U.S. military or government. Joe Concha, I find this so fascinating that the House Intelligence Committee is holding a hearing on UFOs right now. Because initially when I saw all of these unidentified aerial situations, I thought, well, this must be the Chinese Communist Party. This must be an adversary that's surveilling. But then we understand in this report that it wasn't that. So what is it?
Well, you're not alone in terms of being fascinated by this, Maria. Two-thirds of Americans believe that UFOs exist. 51% say they are not a threat to U.S. national security, because we all saw E.T., right? And E.T. seemed friendly enough. So I guess it'll be very interesting to see what comes out of these hearings, to see what's going on. I'd like to hear, for example, what's really going on at Area 51, right? But the majority of the public is fascinated by this, and now the evidence is there that these things very well may be real. It's about time we heard more about what our government knows about them, Maria.
Yeah, and they say there is still much to learn, so we are going to be watching that hearing. It happens on May 17th.
So Tuesday, I think at 9 a.m. Central Time is when this all starts. So I don't know if we want to try and do a live during it and just watch it here. I mean, it's gonna take a while, so it ain't like we can watch the whole thing. Bad echo? I don't know how I got an echo. Huh. I don't know why there shouldn't be an echo. Mark Dahman says, not sure if it's my end, but there seems to be so much echoing in the audio. Yeah, there's nothing different right now. I don't know. There shouldn't be any echo. I mean, yeah. Let's see if it continues with the next this next video.
people who ask questions about UFOs are written off as deranged conspiracy mongers. Oh, shut up about UFOs. Then we learned about something called the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program. It was an operation at the Pentagon, cloaked from public scrutiny, that studied UFO sightings for a very long time. And it was completely real because those sightings are real. The Defense Intelligence Agency has just released that program's 2010 report on UFOs. And among other things, the document tells us the government can prove that UFO sightings have caused radiation burns, paralysis, and brain damage. The report also says that some people who saw UFOs experienced, quote, perceived time suspension. They also saw ghosts and other spirits. In all, that report lists 42 cases of adverse effects from medical files and another 300 adverse effects from unpublished cases, whatever that means. Lou Elizondo knows what it means because he used to run the Advanced Aviation Identification Program. We're happy to have him on tonight. Lou, thanks so much for coming on. So, I mean, this was a feature of people's firsthand accounts going back 50 years to the 60s. You know, I saw this thing and I had these physical effects. I guess that turns out to be real. Tell us about these effects.
Yeah, Tucker, actually, it's even more than that. This is not, you know, the notion of where, let's say, grandma saw some lights in the backyard. These are military eyewitnesses. In some cases, they're fighter pilots or they're security personnel that have come up close and personal with a UAP, or I guess in the vernacular, UFO. And in some cases, they have sustained significant, some sort of medical trauma, something that can be looked at and quantified and qualified and measured as some sort of biological effect, that they didn't suffer these consequences until they came up close and personal to a UFO. And by the way, let me just say, this isn't pseudoscience. You know, for you're absolutely right in your intro. For many years, we've been told, oh, you know, this is silly and whatnot, and this topic is really not to be taken seriously. Look, I was part of the program. I ran the program for a better part of 8 years on this topic. It is absolutely real. And now finally, because of the pressure put by Congress and people like you in the media, finally our government is beginning to become more transparent about this topic and tell the truth about this topic in a way that I wasn't at liberty to have the conversation 4 years ago when you and I first started talking with each other.
Yeah, so I'm getting the idea that when they don't want to hear what you have to say, they call you a conspiracy monger. So these physical effects, some of which are serious, does the Pentagon believe these were intentionally inflicted on people, or they were just byproducts of the experience?
You know, Tucker, that's a fantastic question. Look, the bottom line is, if I've never seen a microwave oven before, and let's say I didn't know how to use it, and I happened to put my hand or unfortunately, let's say my head too close to a microwave oven when it's being turned on, chances are there's going to be some sort of negative biological consequence. Same holds true if I go to let's say an average airport. I just took a 737 today, and if I'm in the cockpit or I'm in the aircraft, there's no real threat. But if I stand behind the engine when the engine is, you know, firing up, chances are I'm going to get burned. I'm going to lose my hearing. There are medical consequences. The question is it deliberate? Is it a product of the technology, or is it a product of something else? And we think right now, and again, let me just preface, preliminarily speaking, it's probably just a consequence of the advanced technology.
Final question, I've asked you this before, but in the face of the mounting evidence, it doesn't really seem plausible to suggest these are aircraft from foreign militaries at this point, does it?
Look, we've been looking at this for a long time, and if anyone seems to suggest that China or Russia back in 1950s had the ability to travel at hypersonic speeds and do 90-degree turns in midair after doing 8,000 miles an hour, then, you know, you're looking at the greatest intelligence failure this country has ever had, eclipsing that of 9/11, by the way, by an order of magnitude. So no, I think it's fair to say at this point, suffice it to say, this is probably not some sort of adversarial technology we're dealing with.
Right. It's not human. So we should let that marinate for a minute and think about what that means. Not to get my head around it, but I appreciate all the work you've done this. Lou Elizondo, thank you.
What's up, Squatching Cowboy? Oh, this thing's not working. All right, there we go. It's going good. Mr. Lee says, maybe I've been having a psychotic meltdown all these years. Have you? You mean from your UFO experiences? You think your UFOs are I don't think you've had close enough contact to, because, like the way he was talking, you got to have some close contact with the technology to experience the health effects. If all that's true. Sanders says, "Question Cowboy, having a wonderful day. Thank you for asking." Mr. Lee letting out a yaw for the Cowboy. Mark been fishing? Probably has, hadn't he? Grasshopper says, "Remember the predictions of the government setting up a fake UFO attack against the country? Keep your mind open to fakery and propaganda." Yeah, I think so. That possibility remains on the table with this entire thing, and that's unfortunate. I hope my prediction is true, that the advanced technology we're seeing is what remains of the last great human civilization that got mostly wiped out 13,000 years ago. But I think that it's more reasonable to think that some of them survived with their technology intact. That's more reasonable than to think aliens are here and for some reason they were willing to travel interstellar distances and come here and want to like hide out on Earth and do what? I mean, what's the point? There's limitless planets out there that don't have somebody already claiming it for surely. Of course, that's an assumption, but there's a lot of space out there. Why would they be here? And it's a long trip. It's just, we know the previous civilization existed. We don't know the full extent of their technology, but we know there was some advanced tech going on, because there is no way Bronze Age man built all these megalithic structures. There's no way. It's not possible. And those yahoos who tried to recreate it using copper tools did not succeed. They're like, look, we made a cut. They didn't complete it. They didn't complete the cut. It would have taken an insane amount of time to do. It's ridiculous. These humans would not do that. Whoever cut those stones had technology to cut them very quickly, and the technology to counteract Earth's gravity or create their own gravitational fields or anti-gravity. As Ken Wheeler has been demonstrating is possible. His little devices are able to cancel out a little bit of gravity. And so if Ken Wheeler is able to do it to that extent today, who's to say those ancients who left massive evidence that they were able to do it? There's people thinking, well, they used ramps and rollers or they floated them into position. Give me a freaking break. That's ridiculous. They're bending over backwards for that bullshit. Those people who built those ancient megalithic structures had command over gravity. There is no other way you can explain this shit that's remotely reasonable. Of course, a lot of people say, well, that's not reasonable because you're saying this magical anti-gravity thing exists. Yes, anti-gravity is a total possibility. It's totally a possibility. It's not magic. It's science. It's, just right hand rule, end of story. It's the way shit works. So anyway, that was a tangent, but of course they're implying here alien. I'm not prepared to accept alien just yet. I think it's ancient. Well, they're not ancient anymore if they're still alive, right? Humans. Or maybe some remnants of their technology was left behind and our government got a hold of it, and they're the ones piloting that tech, and the actual owners of it are long gone. I hope that's not the case, because the last thing we need is for our corrupt, evil government to be in possession of advanced technology beyond what they already got. They've done plenty of harm with what they already had. But yeah, I think they will. They you know, a certain attack was mentioned in that video just now, and I am fairly certain that was straight up a false flag attack. You know, we were meant to think these people did it over here, but the real people who planned it were right here. Mark Dom says, no mate in my head out this week. The freshwater chasing some redfin. Mr. Lee says, grasshopper, of course. Yes, of course. Squatchy Cowboy says, my son got a big one today. 6-pound bass tourney. Awesome. Yep, big bass. Haven't heard if he won anything yet. Excited about it. Pretty good in these tournaments. Awesome, man. Yeah, you agree with which part, Mr. Lee? Which part do you agree with? They won $3,000 a couple of months ago. Awesome. Grasshopper says, was watching something today about the CIA creating downloadable phone games to make networks of video, audio spying. Yeah, well, we know they're spying with these phones. These phones we're tapped. They got everybody tapped. You know, and no matter how much they may assure us that we have our privacy, to whatever extent they say, it's far less privacy than what they say. They're listening to everything. So, you know, why it is they think they need to have such a level of control. I mean, they're just power hungry, greedy scumbags. Leave people alone.
Joining me now is Dr. Hakeem Oluseyi. He's an astrophysicist and author of A Quantum Life. Hakeem, we played that music just for you, my friend. This is so wild to me. So there have been all these public accounts about these unidentified objects, and like military pilots have claimed they've seen them. Other people have claimed they've seen them, and Politico has reported witnesses say they maneuvered so unusually and so fast they seem to defy the laws of physics. So you're here to tell us, breaking news for us, is there life out there other than us? And if so, why haven't they stopped by and said anything to us?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Tiffany. I'm happy to be back again. The first thing I want to say is, you know, what we cannot say anything definitely until we observe it to be true. So we've not yet observed life on other worlds. But what we can do is we can use the laws of physics, the rules of biology and chemistry, and figure out what's likely. And so in my estimation, the idea of life on other worlds is almost definite. Now, the question becomes, what is that life like? So if you look at the example of Earth, for the first 4 billion years, you were limited to microscopic life forms. It took 4 billion years before we could even build life forms like ourselves. And now that you have multicellular life forms, what is the probability of getting an intelligence, and what is the probability of getting an advanced technological civilization? So chances are life is everywhere in microscopic form. Where there are planets that are at the right temperature to have surfaces that have liquid on them and are have the right atmosphere for abundant light to get to the surface of that planet, then you can get multicellular animals like ourselves and have the hope of getting an advanced technology. But here's the thing, an advanced technological civilization. But here's the thing, when we look at the atmospheres in our universe, we've discovered 5,000 planets around other stars. atmospheres like ours that are completely transparent are incredibly rare. They're mostly super thick or completely absent.
That's so, I mean, that is so mind-boggling, right? The 5,000 planets, for starters, but also, you know, as you talk about, yes, there is life in these microscopic forms, but we really don't know. Like, there could be other kinds of life out there because we have no way of knowing. I'm curious, my producers and I were talking about this in the movies that we see about aliens. They all seem to look a certain way. You know, like, why in our minds are we projecting aliens and we put up there on our screen, like the big heads, the big eyes?
Right.
I mean, maybe they're controlling our thoughts and revealing themselves to us in our minds in some way. We just don't know.
What it is projection, right? We have no idea what other life is like, so we project ourselves and the animals of Earth onto that idea. But here's the thing. Once we find life somewhere else, and I have every reason to believe that we are likely to find life within our own solar system because we have missions planned to go to the places where they may be, and we have missions now like the James Webb Space Telescope and the TESS satellite that can actually sample the atmospheres, first discover the planets, but then test those atmospheres and essentially taste them to see if we find biomarkers of life, right? So we're at the cusp of finding it. And once we have a second example, now we can really see what is special about Earth and what is particular that is just life in general.
If you're a part of some group chat or some high security clearance where they tell you there's life, please text me on the side. I won't tell anybody you told me. I just want to know first before it happens. But you did talk about.
You do realize we're on camera, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. People will forget. We'll do the little Men in Black thing and flash them out. They'll forget the whole thing.
Realize them.
You did talk about what's happening out there, and I do want to ask you quickly. We're running out of time, but astronomers have this veil of darkness and death at the center of our Milky Way, and the New York Times described it as a supermassive black hole, a trapdoor in space-time through which the equivalent of 4 million suns have been dispatched with eternity, leaving behind only their gravity and a violently bent space-time. This sounds like a sci-fi movie. What's the significance of this?
Oh, this is massively significant because now we can study black holes in details in ways that we could not before. What the Event Horizon Telescope is doing and what the LIGO and gravitational wave observatories are doing, they're unlocking for us new eyes on the universe, eyes that can tell us give us deeper insights into how space-time works. And let me tell you, I've said it before, humans are dope. When we get these insights, we have a bunch of people that we call engineers that now go and take advantage of them. So the things that we see in sci-fi may actually become reality. And, you know, we know things like warp drive are actually possible in our universe. It can find a source of negative energy density. So, you know, we talk about, you know.
Yeah, I gotta cut that guy off. He's got this book of quantum life. Again, he's using the word quantum, which is bullshit. I'm sure he felt like he was smart giving it that title. He mentioned space-time. There's no damn space-time. There is the ether. There is no damn space-time. It don't even make sense. Space-time, they're just trying to understand. Look, these guys, like you said, Mr. Lee, up above somewhere, you mentioned observations. And that's the point. They're making perfectly good observations, but the problem is they're misunderstanding what the hell they're looking at, and they're coming up with bullshit like quantum foam, space-time, dark matter, dark energy, just all kinds of ridiculousness that is all explained if they would just accept the fact that they missed a boat. They failed to recognize the ancients knew some shit that today scientists do not know, and that's that the ether is where all this is. These effects are coming from. So let's see here. You know, so this guy's he's mentioning these things, and he's just off. You know, he's a mainstream scientist. Yeah, Mr. Lee, microscopic life forms cracking up, atmosphere rare. Yeah, I mean, you know, what do you call atmosphere? I mean, the moon has some minimal atmosphere, you know. So, but like you mentioned, a clear atmosphere. Do you really need a clear atmosphere for intelligent life to develop? And that's just an absolute freaking no. We got demonstrations of that here on Earth, where you got things that live so deep in the ocean, there's no light down there. In caverns where there's zero light, they don't need any light. They're like, their metabolism operates without the sun entirely in some cases. To our cryptids, welcome. He says, it's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Yep. Meredith says, hello, Lockbeard, everyone chat. Welcome, Meredith. What's up? Bobby Shane's a new name. Welcome. It says there's already an alien here. His name is Caitlyn Jenner. Well, that's a human, believe it or not. That's a human. Cryptid says FA Cup champions, Liverpool. Kia ora. Well, in a way, I guess. In a way. Cryptid says daddy duties, Mr. Lee, 2 young boys, 5 and 6, aka demons. Yep. Little boys can cause great destruction. So, I don't know. These guys, they come up with these estimations. Well, for one, like, she's amazed. The woman there was amazed at 5,000 planets. All right, that's just what we detected. And that's not amazing at all. What's amazing is you could probably throw the infinity symbol in front of your guess as to how many planets there actually are out there, and it's just infinite. It never stops. It goes on and on. Cool, though. You say Steve B's here. Hello, welcome. So, here's another one on Fox Business.
Here with me now, former director of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, also known as AA TIP. It is Lou Elizondo. Welcome back, Lou.
Kennedy, always great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So what is most troubling for you here, other than the government being very opaque and withholding lots and lots of information for many, many years? Is it the radiation burns? And tell me about the pregnancies, the alien pregnancies.
Okay, well, a lot to unpack here. First and foremost, what you're referring to was a recent Freedom of Information Act data dump by the U.S. government. And what you're referring to specifically was one of the, if you will, studies done by the Defense Intelligence Agency, known as a DIRD, or a Defense Intelligence Reference Document. In essence, a study. And one of those studies was on the biological consequences of individuals, people, biological organisms, coming perhaps too close and too personal with an unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP. So that is true. That information was released by our intelligence community and provided to the American people. There were several of these FOIAs that came out, and I think if the American people took a moment to read some of them, I think they'd find some of these reports are frankly outstanding. And when I say outstanding,
what stands out to you most?
I think what you said there with the radiation burns, we discussed this last time a little bit, didn't we? We hinted towards it. And that was when individuals, fighter pilots, in some cases came too close to UAP, they experienced negative consequences. It looked like what was referred to as a sunburn. And in reality, what we think was exposure to some sort of radiation, high frequency radiation. Interestingly enough, as those pilots got closer and closer, they started to experience internal organ damage as well. and specific morphology in the human brain that can then be looked at both before and after, and you can compare and contrast and say, yeah, this person has sustained some sort of, if you will, injury that is consistent with some sort of directed energy.
What do you conclude from all of this?
Well, look, it's the same thing that Congress has concluded, and other folks in the media now, mainstream media, that are finally taking this seriously. That UAP are real. These UFOs are real, whatever they are.
Even Harry Reid knew that. He just tried to keep it secret. Harry.
Well, look, it's I think the secret's out of the bag, and I think there's going to be some more headlines coming up this week that probably people will realize that those individuals who tried to keep it secret are now being held accountable. Congress, for one, is, for example, Senator Marco Rubio, Senator Gillibrand, on a bipartisan effort here, are refusing to allow the Department of Defense and the intelligence community to obfuscate anymore. There's no more hiding behind the green curtain, if you will. Now, hopefully, America is going to know just a small portion of what I was privy to when I was running the program.
Well, they got to have you back there running the program, Lou, because we're taking our eye off the ball, and now the ball is pregnant. Lou Elizondo, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, man. She annoys me. Especially, like I cut off parts of, like the first part of it, because she was trying to joke around about everything, and she's not, not entirely serious about the interview process, and she was cutting him off, and interjecting stuff that really didn't contribute anything worth a damn. And I've seen that a lot in the shows and the Bigfoot community and stuff too, where you'll get someone in there that keeps cutting people off, and it's so freaking annoying. If someone's talking, let them finish their damn sentence. And yeah. So sick of that shit. Crypto says the misinformation on the UFO UAP subject is ridiculous. Yeah, well, I mean, the hard thing about that is how do we know? We don't know what the real information is. So how do we know what is misinformation and what is not misinformation? I mean, I can sit here all day long and say that I am quite certain that the government is lying about how much they know, but I don't know that for fact. They could actually be telling the truth about this shit, and I don't have any way to know for sure. But they lie about so much shit. They're you just want to just kind of assume they're lying about this. They as well. Stephanie Stevie B says Mark Dahman, I'm well. Good deal. Good to hear. Change my picture. I'm looking old there. What are you talking about? You looking old? Look like you're 18. Best I can tell from this picture. Having a great day. Work weekend begins. Mr. Lee says a lot of people annoy me. Yeah. Yeah, I hold my tongue. Well, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're trying to start shit again in chat, Lockbeard," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm holding my tongue most of the time. What do you want from me?" Because in some cases they're, nice people. It's just that they're full of shit. They're full of shit, and then the whole talking over people thing. It's just or damn near like dominating the show. Coming in and just keeps on, and it's like someone's trying to talk, and like it even annoys me some when someone's talking and another person who's on is like, yep, oh yeah, that's how it is. They don't have any idea. Sometimes they don't have any idea anyway. Like don't act like you were there. Don't say yep like I was there, and don't interrupt them while they're talking. I'm trying to listen to them say something, and you're interrupting them just to nod and say, "Yep, but that's how it is." No, shut up. Just shut up and let them talk. Fuck. What's that show? Like, there's a bunch of them, like, where they have several people talking, opining about politics, and they're all talking over each other. And I'm like, is this what people want? I want all you assholes to shut the hell up while one person talks and completes a sentence without someone cutting them off. The same thing goes with the damn debate. How's that a freaking debate? How the hell is half that shit that happens on modern day debate channel called a debate, when all it is people talking over each other half the time? So put a stop to that. The moderator needs to put a stop to that, or just mute the person until the first person has completed their thought and their sentence. Maybe give them a certain amount of time. Say, look, you're running out of time. Maybe fudge it a little bit if they're in the middle of a sentence. Their thoughts taking a little time to complete. But half the time, all this shit's people talking over each other, and you don't get anything out of it by the time it's over. It's just ridiculous. They know it all. Yeah. Why I was at my house today? You know why I was at my house today, Tom? Cruise. Not sure I spelled that right, but I told him you were spearfishing. Oh, well, we had fun alone. What the hell? Meredith playing with Tom Cruise? Grasshopper says there's nothing we could do. It's too late. The hierarchy's in control. Just live your lives the best you can and try to have some fun. Just accept your fate, says Grasshopper. The governments have taken this back to World War II status. Yeah. Sandra Piper, Meredith, you doing all right, girl? Pack of coon dogs tips his hat. Welcome. Mute. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to do, It's just, I can't, like, I already feel like I have extremely limited time to accomplish everything I want to accomplish, to do everything I want to do, to see everything I want to see, to study everything I want to study. It's just, there's no time. And, when I'm sitting there watching a show about a subject, and, you got people talking over each other so much that I could probably, if someone were to go back and just edit it out to the parts where you can actually hear what people are saying, it would be half as long. The total discussion would be half as long, because the other half was just so garbled up nonsense with people talking over each other that you couldn't hear what anybody was saying. And we get the wackadoodles, the people that are so far on the woo side of things with no proof whatsoever, that like to show up at the channels that I tend to stay with, because they keep it real. Just run with the woo. I know some people believe strongly in the woo, but that's just a belief. I'm sorry, it's just a belief, and you until there's proof of it, you can't get mad at people for not wanting to hear, people like Gary Johnson go on and on and on about this woo encounter that he describes, and he just repeats it over and over again in chat. And okay, I mean, we've seen it 1,000 times at this point. Now you're just, at this point, you're just flooding chat with your shit. No time, Lockbeard. I agree, man. Get to the truth. Hurry up. Well, some of these truths we may not be allowed to get to, like this UFO thing. you know, we're gonna watch the hearing. You know, we all read the report. But the government's lied to us so much that it's probably a waste of our damn time. We should probably, you know, it's going to be, you know, we're getting to the point where, I mean, surely most of you watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Maybe some of you read the book or books. I did not. I always passed it up for other stuff that I preferred. But you know, where they have elected this buffoon, you know, and nobody really knows who they're voting for, and they kind of don't give a shit anymore, and you just end up with some goofy turd run everything, and nobody really does anything to fix the system, you know. And so it's just going to keep getting worse. You know, we got this goofball Biden right now. We had a completely ridiculous choice last time as well in Trump. I don't care. I know a lot of people like Trump, but you guys got tricked. You got tricked. Did anything really the fuck change? No, but it satisfied a lot of you that a savior had come to say, you know, a hero came to save the day, and you know, got you guys rallied behind the Republican ticket where they want you to be. They want you to be behind either the Republican ticket or the Democrat ticket. That's how divide and conquer works. They got to keep you on one of the two teams. If you start going to a third party thing, they don't like that shit. That's why we got, you know, the what's her name that ended up on the Libertarian ticket. They knew after Gary Johnson, the Libertarian Party was going to start to see a rise. It was the Libertarian Party was about to rise, so they had to stick the Libertarian Party with a bullshit candidate, and they did. That lady was a bullshit candidate. I don't know how they set that up or why it was the way it was, but it was a bullshit Libertarian candidate. Anyway, so it's all we're the whole damn thing's a scam. The presidency, it's all a scam. We can't know for sure what the hell's real when it comes to what the government says. It's just they lie about everything. Meredith says, Sandra, I love to make people laugh, plus it hides my feelings. I'm going home tomorrow, and that's when I think I'll cry a lot more. I've been trying to take care of my son. He has been crying nightly. Sorry to hear that, Meredith. And your husband. Mr. Lee says the answer is 42. Yeah. How old is your son? Says Sandra. Nikki's here. Welcome. Lack of hope, change hope is important. Mr. Lee, I don't know. I don't know that you're real. You could have been like you never come on camera, so you know, to verify that you're a real person. So you could be like one of those fake Facebook accounts. I bet probably a lot of you know, like this shit's been happening where I'll get a friend request from someone that was already on my friend list, and it'll look like their account. It's got their pictures on it and stuff like that, but it's a fake account. And one guy I know, he's like 80-something years old. Because I haven't really been paying too much attention to it. I just thought he kept getting unfriended or something on Facebook. I found 5 accounts for this guy. 5 accounts. I notified him and talked to him about it. Said, hey, there's fake Facebook accounts out there, and they're trying to scam. I can't remember what the scam was they were trying to run on me. But it's they pose as a friend of yours on Facebook. They've stolen their pictures to make a fake account, and they're going to try and scam you with some bullshit. It's something to do with money or getting some kind of benefit from the government or something. But they're probably fishing for some data, so you gotta be careful. Meredith says, yes, I moved out of my house in January. I've been Massachusetts during the stay. Dog's vet was a mess. I'm not unpacked yet. Just kitchen and bathroom. Had a storage unit for 4 years. Stevie B says, that shit happened to me. It's a hacked account. Yeah. So I tried to look and see if there was one for me, because like what happened, like someone friended, like every so often I'll get a friend request. I don't know if this happens to women, but it probably happens to a lot of men. Like you'll get a friend request from an account with pictures of a very pretty woman on it. Hey guys, hot chicks don't just friend you on Facebook out of the blue unless you know them. Okay, that you're about to get scammed, and I can't remember what this last one was trying to scam me with. I was trying to get the person but I was trying to figure, because I want to figure out what their scam. What's the scam? And and I've run into this before. This is what happened. I've run into this before. They're like, here. They send you a private message, and they send you their pictures. They say, hey, send me your pictures. And I always say, well, my pictures are all on my account. Just go look at my profile. And they're like, no, send them here. I'm like, why do you want me to send them here? If my pictures are on my account, why do I need to send a private message if they're on my profile? So I think that has something to do with the how, like, I think maybe it's a bot, and it needs to get the pictures. In order to get the pictures to create the fake account, it needs to get you to private message the pictures to them. I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows more about that. But it seemed strange to me that this fake account was insisting that I send pictures by private message when I was saying, look, all my pictures that I'm going to send, that anybody's going to see, is on my profile. That ain't you, that ain't you, Mr. Lee. You have to report it to Facebook to get it shut down. Yeah, I report shit all the time. But it's like it never ends. Facebook is just, and it's, and I need to. I mean, only reason I stayed off Facebook a lot for a long time, and I've only been on lately because I've been having to. Partly because I've been trying to find honeybee swarms, and then partly because I was shopping for goats on Facebook. Facebook has its uses. It's just that once you're there, you got all these damn notifications, and now you're seeing shit that you're like, well, you get sucked in. It's just like that South Park episode. You get sucked into Facebook, and what needs to happen is Facebook needs to be destroyed. That's what needs to happen to Facebook. You need the nuclear option on Facebook. I'm sick of that shit. It's ridiculous. Sandra says, Meredith, I feel for you and your family. I pray for you all. Wish I could give you a huge hug. Call Karma Kirsty. People forgot about that. They just want their mouth louder than anyone else's and get their point across and not give anyone else a chance and cut people off while they're talking. Yeah. Well, and it's like, I don't know if I want to say specific names. Like, I was watching a show, and this person comes on. This person's been on before, and this person seems to be a little bit, well, as Joe, uh, Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group puts it, he says the cheese has slid off the cracker. And so this person comes on, and they're they just keep interrupting and saying things as if they're and that's another thing Joe's been talking about of late is people stating things as if they are a fact when in fact we do not know they are a fact. And yeah, mass chaos. Yeah, Mr. Lee says I'm a hot chick, only joking. You need to get on Moog's show, Mr. Lee, and give that that British Bigfoot report. We all need to see that. Rex Hands here, welcome. Meredith says that was a joke for Mr. Lee, I assume you mean. The Tom Cruise thing said he was out spearfishing, joking around. In other words, he missed Tom Cruise at my house. Tom Cruise was not at my house, though it was a joke. Okay. It's all right if you want Tom Cruise to come over, that's fine. Joe on his way, says Sandra. Where was Joe at? Is there somebody else having a show right now? Facebook, that is Big Bro. Yeah, it is, Mr. Lee. What's up, Uncle Bones? Welcome. Angel's here. Welcome. She says, hey, everyone. Darn YouTube not giving notifications again. Yeah, YouTube don't like me at all. So I'm surprised y'all are getting anything. Surprised y'all are getting anything. So what happened to Pat? Does anyone know what happened to Pat? Wait a minute, was Joe was on? I didn't know Joe was on. Do you have a special one today? Oh, there he is. He says, and bada bing, bada bang, here I am. Let's party. What's up, Joe? Raptor says it, Lockbeard, Big Pirate. What are you talking about? Well, we were talking about aliens, and now we've been talking about all kinds of other shit, too. A little politics got mixed in there. But yeah. Life is Flyaway says, what's the topic? So they need to show us some damn aliens, but we're talking because the government's they're getting ready to have a hearing about the UFOs on Tuesday. Genesis Lock, raid from Joe's Random. Yeah, I didn't realize Joe was on. Mr. Lee says, Uncle Bones, what you been doing, man? Meredith. Joe did a pop-up at 6. A pop-up? Hello, Raptor Crazy. Yes, I did a random Lockbeard. Cool. Uncle Bones 2. Hello. Watching Joe while you ate your dinner. Hello again, everyone, says Joe. Does anyone know why the Squatching Cowboy got banned? I don't know exactly. He'll be back, surely. But I'd like to know why Pat. What the Pat? Because I didn't know Pat canceled last night, or what happened to Pat? Joe says again. Like your randoms, the Tic Tacs. Yeah, I mean we didn't say too much specifically about the Tic Tacs, but about whether or not the government's telling us the truth at all. Like they're, and then what's the possibility that they're about to try and stage a false flag alien attack? They're getting everybody prepped right now. It's like, oh, okay, we admit the UFOs are there. We don't know what they are, and the next thing you know, we're getting attacked. Except it's not aliens; it's government with some, top secret technology that they have. Paramedic. Yeah, welcome to Paramedic. I don't think I said welcome him. Jen says Cowboy has a new channel. Does he? Did he have to get a new one or something? Lurked the last show, eat dinner. Oops. Joe says not sure what is happening with Pat. Monica Prophet Eunice Ben Tribe. That's a new name. Welcome. Says aliens are jinn or genie. Gary Johnson's here. Welcome. Lee says you are a bad influence on me, Lockbeard. I'm getting banned all the time now. What the fuck? I don't know. Who'd you get banned from this time? Look, all the people that don't like that they're not interested in the truth are the ones that are banning people. Like people, like I haven't banned anybody other than actual troll bots, or spam bots. What happened? It's Jen. Imposter Christ. This question about who banned him. I think he got a channel banned, or probably suspended temporarily is probably what they mean. Oh, and he's on Facebook. He got on Facebook. Oh yeah, he was talking about that. Yeah, you can't say that's one of the problems with Facebook. It's like you can't say, if you have the wrong political opinion. Facebook, they're not even trying to hide the fact that they have their own point of view, and they will block you if you have the wrong point of view. And you try to post something like that, they'll block you or they'll suspend you. Jen says, Nikki, not sure, but it's a Hot Rod and Trucks channel that Cowboy started. Okabone says, Lockbeard, someone said they'd seen him on an earlier show. He was pretty buzzed, tossing them back hard, just what I heard. Who, Cowboy? Spyway Churchill said UFO were real post World War II. Raptor Crazy said Pat never came on yesterday, as far as I know. No, he didn't. That's why I was asking. So, wondering if everything's okay, or you just didn't feel like going on. What's going on? Gary says, seems no one handles the truth. They make up their own theory. No, Pat. Like Meg says, Neil, I'm trying to ask Neil reverse the name. It's Alien. Oh, man. That's a stretch, man. Neil is a pretty common name. Armstrong is definitely not, an unheard of name. Alien. Aliens are a lie. Alien. Yeah. You can pull that bullshit all you want, but that's just bullshit, Mank. Such bullshit. Joe says, I will never ban, even if you don't agree with something I say. As long as you stay respectful, freedom of speech remains on my cast. Meg says, yo, Mr. Beards and crew. Monica says, Tribe of Benjamin here. I guess that's Revelations. Yeah, you know, a lot of people make claims about the Freemasons. I have yet to see like concrete proof of that. There's it seems like it's cool to make these claimed attacks on the Freemasons, but where's actual proof? I mean, that's if I can pull up. There was a clip of, there was a video. I mean, you know, because if the Freemasons were this whole thing, you know, like, you know, I think, you know, like, I have a really good friend. He's a really good guy. He's Freemason. You know, if you're gonna try and convince me some kind of evil whatever bullshit, you're gonna have a hard time with that. You really are. 3 of my 4 grandparents were Freemasons. I'm not. I'm not interested in joining their little good old boys club. But because that's all it really is. It's a stupid club. But because it's a little secretive, people get to thinking, oh, they must be up to some no good. No, they're just a club. If you're gonna make those claims, you got to prove some shit. And then like where Randall Carlson was on, you know, Joe Rogan. He's been on Joe Rogan a number of times, and he's, you know, revealed the fact that he's a Freemason. And so, where does chat go? So yeah, I mean, you know, he's said some of the same shit I just said, but eventually he's like, oh no, Mank's here. I think there are a couple of bots. Well, that one maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Jen, I don't remember the show or who said it. Sorry. Hey, Neon, welcome. Thanks for coming. Is Cheese Freak here? Yep, Cheese Freak here. Welcome, Cheese Freak. I've seen one UFO in my lifetime. It was going at an ungodly speed. Yeah, I saw something that it was, I don't know how high up. It looked like a star in the sky, and then it went from stationary to, and it was gone. It was on its way to Andromeda. Jen says Cowboy's new channel is called Now That's a Truck. If anyone wants to go look it up. Life says Jinn are the evil spirits of the desert. Monica says Freemasons get away with magic because it's esoteric and we can't see the unseen. Well, I mean, again, I haven't seen any evidence that the Freemasons are engaged in any kind of magic, and even if they are, so what? I mean, if you believe any kind of practice of magic is evil, then that's a belief system. But I don't believe that's based. I don't believe that makes it a fact that magic is evil. So, I mean, the way you're using it seems to imply that you think that the use of magic is a bad thing because you're trying to make a case against the Freemasons, which again, show me some actual evidence. Like everybody said, they make all these claims. I've seen this over and over again. They make all these claims, but they never prove it, you know. And again, I don't know who could look at Randall Carlson, for example, and say this guy is an evil Freemason when he's trying to tell people the truth about the archaeological history of this planet. But there was something he said at some point where, because people say, look, all these Freemasons were involved in the creation of the United States. That proves there was this big Freemason conspiracy to control the world. And he said, well, if that's true, there were more people who were part of the founding fathers who were, I can't remember which religious group. I can't remember which one. But he said by that logic, then you could say that religious group is involved with a conspiracy to take over everything. Or you could just go with there's just a majority of the people were part of that religion. It didn't have anything to do with a conspiracy to take over everything. So chat's trying to get away from me. Covers the channel 2 vids. Mr. Lee says, Mank said I had no more intelligence than a garden pea. I'll have you know I'm a genius, man. Hey, Mank, Mr. Lee has a sword and a harpoon. See, that'll fix it, Mr. Lee. Meredith says, Mr. Lee is the witness protection. I'm his guide dog. Yeah, that's a ticket. That's why you can't be on camera. Mr. Lee can get on camera. Lockbeard. No. No, I won't. I don't want to, like, why would I want to join them? They memorize all this stuff, and then they try to act like they have these secrets, and I don't think they have any big secrets. I think it's just a club of guys that look after each other. So as long as, because they just do. That's what they do. They look out after each other. They look out after each other, or look out for each other. So that results in better success for the member, because all the other members will help him out. So if there's a deal to be made, they'll give him the deal before they'll give it to somebody else. It's that kind of thing. It's not the big thing, I don't think, that a lot of people are claiming. Joe says, I am curious to explore the idea that some claim Freemasons' roots lie in the Templars. And it may, it may. But, boy, some people are really gone nuts. I mean, with these big documentaries on TV. Let me ask these people something. If the Freemasons are controlling the world, why would they allow the documentaries on the freaking TV exposing them? They wouldn't allow that. Come on. He says, you believe the moon landing was real? Yes or no? And why would you believe it? Man, it's a whole nother subject, and I don't want to jump into it tonight. Moon's real though, dude. It's up there. If you actually look at it, I get you a telescope and just spend some time looking at it. Go talk to an actual astronomer, and don't talk all your flat Earth crap to an actual astronomer. Okay. Just I don't know how to get you to understand and see that the moon is an actual chunk of matter that orbits the Earth. Jen says, oops, you may be correct, Uncle. Never mind my post. Something. I guess I missed that. Hot rods. Mike says, Mr. Lee, Garden Peace have more intelligence than you, bro. What the hell, dude? Be nice to Mr. Lee now. Saw one in 76 or 77. It was so crazy. Like, were you able to make out like that it was a vessel of some kind, or was it like mine where it just looked like a star? It was just a point of light. So I don't know what the hell that was. Alex says, a 33-degree Mason has been after my family and a nightmare. Jinn or Rio, God, let me see the magician and the Jinn who's attacking my son and nearly killed him. Well, I mean, there's a lot of claims right there, but again, I mean, how do you know that your imagination isn't running away with you? Like, do you have evidence of this stuff? And if someone's trying to like kill your family, you know, you probably need to be talking to the cops instead of telling us this stuff in the chat, you know. So, but I can tell you that the Masons don't like criminal activity. Like, they won't let you in if you have committed, you know, crimes and certain crimes. They don't want you, you know. Or at least they would be very reluctant. They want law-abiding citizens. They have the whole idea that they're trying to take a good man and make him into a better man, you know. So you're making some serious claims here, and you're gonna need some evidence for that. And it's probably not for us here. Like, it sounds like it's a legal issue. It involves the authorities. Why are you telling us this stuff in this chat other than to get attention or something? I don't know. Instead of talking to the authorities, because yeah. I got jacked up on my chat here. Okay, there we go. Good weekend. Lev says a UFO I saw was no saucer. It resembled Battlestar Galactica and was, oh shoot. Maybe you were watching too much Battlestar Galactica. In tribe. Magic can get bad. You can't disrespect good healing magic used for good means. Pretty. Same here. Cheese Freak says away from the one I saw was just a light. Monica says Christopher Columbus was a glorified Morano crypto Kabbalist, aka this is a lot of weird words. I think you have definitely fallen into some kind of cult at this point. Natives consider a psychopath. Yeah. Was Christopher Columbus a great guy? All right, no. But Morano crypto Kabbalists, aka magician, these are a lot of freaking claims of just some with weird words that most people, like, you're probably going to suck a few people in that see that they're like, oh, this sounds interesting. I'm going to get sucked into this cult. You're in some kind of cult. You are totally in some kind of cult, guaranteed. This really says freedom for the people. That's what I go with. Yeah, man. Neon says Raptor, thank you. It's going pretty good. Flyway says Cheese Freak. The one I saw was the one people chased across Ohio towards Dayton. Big ship looking thing. Huh. Cheese Freak, you saw UFO in Tennessee? Flyway says all the Freemasons were about was math. Yeah. I think they're into some things that are important, you know, about understanding mathematics and some secrets about the universe. I just think that they don't have as much or recognize the enormity of what little they do have that they're trying to keep kind of secretive. Yeah. So I'm not very like if I became convinced that they had some deep secrets to reality, I want those secrets, right? I want the truth of all things, but I don't think they do. I don't think they do. I think they understand some very minimal stuff, but it's which would be of no interest to me because it's they're like 3 steps behind. So why would I join the Freemasons and other than personal gain? you know, because, you know, they do charity and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know, you join a group so to benefit all the members of the group. Well, supposedly, not always, but sometimes it don't work out that way. The moon is a metal space station, Lockbeard. I think that there is evidence to support that, yes. Cheese Freak says, Lockbeard, mine was a light or a star, but crazy moves, bro. Yeah, crazy moves. Jen says, I saw one that looks like a triangle batwing shape, size of a small plane, no sound, was certainly interesting. Flyway says, I saw a ship, wasn't alone, many saw it. The force is strong, Mr. Lee, says Dickie. Same. Actually, the moon may be a defunct ship, says Chief Freak. Yeah, I think that that's it's hard to say about that part. Some of the evidence would seem to indicate that the moon is an artificially constructed object, and it's been covered with, you know, dirt and rocks from asteroid impacts for thousands of years. But there's some things that definitely indicate artificial construction. So does that mean it was a ship that came here and parked in orbit for some reason? I don't think so. I think it was built here to be here for I'm not sure exactly what reasons, but there's just some things like, you know, the size and the distance are exactly what's necessary to create a perfect eclipse, for example. If it were a different size at the same distance, either a little smaller, a little bigger, a lot smaller, any other size than what it is, it wouldn't perfectly cover the sun. Or if it was a different distance, a little further, a lot further, a little closer, a lot closer, it's perfectly, for the size it is, it's at the correct distance to create a perfect eclipse. How the fuck does that happen? You know, what's the odds of that? In addition to the other evidence, the ringing of the bell, the size, the low density issue, like its density is way too low, indicating it's largely hollow. So there's a lot of stuff there. Grasshopper says the UFO I saw was a spark stationary under a moving cloud level. Watched it while smoking a cigarette for 10 minutes. Then it lifted into the clouds. Flyway says the moon is leftovers from 2 Earth theory. I think that theory is wrong. In short, this release says maybe it don't even classify as a theory. Like, they don't have adequate evidence to even call that a theory. A hypothesis, perhaps, but theory has evidence behind it, so I wouldn't even call that a theory. Fellow Ginger, doing good also. Oh, Jesus. The Flyway says, no, look, that ship I saw was followed through the state. Happened twice here. Youngstown chase and a Dayton chase. You will never suck me in, says Lee. Rep says, Neil Moon, I'm doing good. Smoke them. Sir, you need to do more research. I sent you video information to know more. No, I'm not in a cult. I am the direct descendant of the prophet Jonah, sign of Jonah. Holy shit, dude. Are you going to send me... Mank, is this one of your friends? Mank tried to send me some videos too. And every video anything I saw that came from Mank was easily demonstrably complete bullshit. But I don't know, like, okay, I don't know how you come about this channel, but this is not where you just spout bullshit and people just like, oh yeah, that sounds really interesting. Tell me more. No, if it sounds like bullshit, I'm going to tell you it's bullshit. You are not the descendant of the prophet Jonah. if you're gonna make that claim, prove it. Don't send me a video on like YouTube videos. A lot of that shit's faked. You know, it's just ridiculous. A lot of confirmation by, you know, like Mank's video about the circuit board Earth bullshit. Completely easily demonstrated to be bullshit, but Mank won't listen because he wants it to be true so badly, and he wants people to follow his guidance. He's going to lead us. He's a prophet, like you are the prophet. Whatever. No. Jesus, man, Mank, we're not going down this rabbit hole with you. I think I'm going to have to start skipping. If we can suck a watermelon through a garden hose. Holy shit. Well, hello, cheese freak. Meredith says, I like Tom Cruise when he first came out, his movies, but to tell you the truth, I don't care for him, you know, like Robert De Niro. Yeah, see, you're just spouting all kinds of just nonsense. We will not eat it up here. However, Mank will, but Mank isn't always here. He just comes here when he feels like trying to preach the cult that he belongs to. Flying dirigibles. Joe says, I think the scientific explanation of what and how the moon formed is most likely. However, I don't rule out that someone could have underground complexes here. Yeah, but why did it ring like a bell? Why does it have the high levels of titanium? Why is it exactly this size? That's kind of not really proof. But then, and then of course the low density. Why is this density so low? I mean, it's just there. Oh, and the depths of the craters. Like the depths of the craters don't make any sense unless it's a titanium spherical object underneath all the dirt and rocks. Ashley says, "What you say about Scientology, Lockbeard? That's complete bullshit." Raptor says, "So the Transformers are in the moon, and we just don't know about it yet." No, that's just a movie, Raptor. Jay's here. Welcome. What's up, man? Tom Cruise. No, Tom Cruise is not allowed here. Flyway says Jim Jones makes a mean drink. Yeah, we have at least two of them hanging out here. Apparently, would love to have some of that. Rex says, "What's up, Jay?" Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, Joe, I don't know. I mean, I know it sounds really weird, but like, you know, the Apollo 12 mission where they dropped the lander, and in the seismographs, they said it rang like a bell for an extremely long time. And of course, somebody's tried to explain that as well. It's caused by the low amount of water or some nonsense like that. But I'm not buying it. I think there's something else going on there. Jay says all the good-looking ladies and hairy, ugly legs. Yep. Joe says I'll have to get back to you on those questions, Lockbeard. I don't have enough info currently to answer intelligently. Yeah, it's something's up. And then there, like, there's also like stories, like ancient stories, which those are kind of just like the Indian legends of Sasquatch. Why we just kind of use it. It's not real evidence, but it kind of adds to it. But anyway, ancient stories of a time before there was a moon. You know, so something's up with it, and you know, and then again, and also the rotation, the orbit, you know, it rotates once. It rotates once per an orbit. Per so one face always, and they call, of course, they'll call it tidally locked all day long. But I'm like, yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Like one side facing the Earth at all times. So it has to rotate exactly one time per revolution. It not 1.1, not 1.2, not 1.3, not 0.8, not 10, not 0.001. It's exactly 1 to 1. And there, you know, there's a million other options. So, but it's exactly the way it needs to be. So only one side of the moon, the same side of the moon, always faces the Earth. So that just, again, it's not really hard evidence of the real evidence is like there's a lot of titanium, and yet the density is really low. The craters are too shallow. Like there's something inside underneath all the dirt and rocks that keeps the asteroid impacts from digging deeper than a certain depth. Like they're extremely shallow craters, but really wide. You know, the really big ones. They shouldn't be as shallow as what they are. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, says Cheese Freak. Mank says, you can't debunk the moon cameraman. That's why you wouldn't comment of who was the cameraman. Well, I don't know, man. I haven't really looked into that particular claim. I just, you know, just not seen enough to behind the claims that the claims that the moon landing didn't happen. I haven't seen enough to make me think that I need to waste my time, you know, worrying about, you know, did they have a camera on the outside of the ship? You know, I don't know. Like, what piece of footage? I'm afraid to ask because every time, you know, I ask and you guys say, well, you need to go look at this video. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll go like everything. It always turns out to be bullshit every single damn time. Like the Buzz Aldrin thing where they said, oh, see, he told that little girl. It's like, no, somebody clipped that out of the larger conversation to make it seem like he was saying what they wanted him to say. They took it out of context, straight up. When you watch the entire thing, you see what it said. Now, did he say things a little kind of weird? Yeah, but he's just an old dude trying to talk to a little girl and stumbling about it, I think. But at no point did he say what they claimed he was saying. None, not at all. They took a clip and they made it sound. No, it's not. No, it's not. And just because they had some backup footage doesn't mean that just proof. It's not proof that the moon landing didn't happen. It just isn't. Gary said we need to call the Autobots, check things out for us all, see if the Earth really is flat. Shit. Goddamn flat Earth shit. Uncle Bones says, Jen, Curious Cryptid's show will depend a bit on if he is sober enough for Kim to let him go on camera. She has been a good filter for his show in the last couple months from Joe's Demon Barber. Grasshopper says, the Sumerians blame the moon's creation on a planetary collision that blew off a chunk, and the chunk is just a solid dead rock. Bun says, Jen, I found this in chat from you and Joe's show. I know Curious Cryptid said something else. I just can't find it at the moment. Be careful agreeing with Mank now. You think the moon landing... Mr. Lee. Oh, man. Just because they made some video, I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember what the whole deal was with that. Like they were even talking about this on Joe Rogan. Like they had to make the video to do something like a video. They had to show, but they couldn't. Like it's easier to film what they wanted to film on Earth than to film it up there. So there's been some mix up of footage that's like, I don't know, like promotional or something, or public just to inform people or whatever. I can't remember what it was, what the deal was. I'd have to go dig back into that, and I really don't feel like it. But anyway, but in no way does this situation disprove the moon landing. Everything else is, you probably say I disagree. Just say. Bank says I give up flat Earth, now concave Earther. Oh shit, dude. So it wasn't good enough that it was flat. Now it has to be a bowl. Is that my understanding? The Earth is a bowl. Is that because the flat Earth bullshit wasn't working? Flyway says last guy to tell Armstrong it was fake got knocked out by a guy 50 years older. Yeah. Tell you what. Raptor says, yeah, the moon's not rotating. It's rotating around the Earth, but it's not spinning like the Earth. It's really slow. Yeah, it rotates once per revolution. And that's why it the same side always faces us. But that seems awful convenient. Like, I wonder what we would find, except it's been hit by asteroids and stuff. Like, I wonder what it looked like in the beginning before it got covered and bombarded. Was it just a big metallic sphere? Was there some kind of image on it that people could look up and say, hey, there's that thing? Was it created 13,000 years ago as a place for the advanced people to go to avoid the cataclysm? Because they didn't, again, but then you would think that if they could build that freaking thing, they could stop the impact. Or maybe they thought, well, we don't want the impact stopped. Maybe it needs to happen. But maybe there's cases where there's just no way to stop it. It's just the power of the universe is beyond your control. Cheese Freak says, if the moon landing happened, why did they tape over one of the most important tapes ever? I don't know what you're referring to. Uncle Bone says, Jen, I just don't want anyone thinking I was just stirring shit. Were you? Were you trying to stir shit? Huh. Well, I don't know. I guess we just see what happens next week. I don't know if I'll try to go live during the beginning of it or not. During the beginning of the hearing. Yeah, Mr. Mank. Yeah. I'm making fun of it, okay? Because concave is a goddamn stupid word for it. It's a stupid word for it. They should call it the hollow sphere model. They should not call it concave. Concave is like a bowl. You're talking about a hollow sphere, which is it's incredibly dumb, just like the flat Earth. Land on the walk on his edge of the sky is a giant water ball called the black sun, holding the zodiac stars. Yeah, you just you've got to be trolling. You got to be trolling. You can't actually believe this complete ridiculous nonsense. It's just not possible. You've got to be a troll. Gary says, maybe it's the sun people. Damn it, let the sun shine more often, like gee whiz. I don't know what you're referring to. Cheese Freak says, does Pink Floyd know what's on the dark side of the moon, or was that just a brain damage eclipse? Probably the latter. Mr. Lee says, most people don't care to know the truth. Oblivious. Yeah. Uncle Bone says, thank you, Jen, and believe in me. Joe says, I don't think Mink believes any of what he spouts. I believe he just finds it funny to troll people with it. Okay. If he's doing that, Mink, you can just move on, because I don't give a fuck. I'm about looking for the truth. You know, it's just some ridiculous shit, and I really don't know. You know, I guess I should try to just stick to the idea of just not even acknowledging you, if that's what you're going to do. Convict says the outside of a spear. Mank, you get on my nerves, Mank. Yeah. Well, he's got some weird shit to say, and so I don't know why. Here, let me pull something up here. Let's do some Merriam-Webster, shall we? There we go. Put this bullshit to rest. This is why I hate the concave Earth, because they're not talking about a bowl. You know, like a satellite dish is a concave object. You know, so they're talking about a hollow sphere. See, bam, hollowed or rounded inward like the inside of a bowl. I mean, yes, it's inside the sphere, you know, has a concave shape to it, but it's more accurate to say hollow sphere or hollow earth. You're talking about hollow earth. I believe the majority says out bra. Yeah, I'm not gonna block him, but I just don't see any reason to even talk to him if he's just spouting complete nonsense and he's not contributing in any way to intellectual investigation of anything here. Mike says to Joe, how can you comment on anything I say? You don't know me, and I seek the truth because NASA is liars and Bigfoot is a cult of fairy tales. See, it's like you're here specifically just to be a troll. So, Dr. Crazy says, and you all talk about me trying to take over shows. Come on now, I do feel a little bit of love. Yeah, I mean, you don't do this, but I don't say you try to take over shows. I'll just say the way you express yourself comes off. What's the word I'm looking for? Abrasive, perhaps. Abrasive. So it sounds like you're like being an asshole. I'm not convinced that you really are. I think, and maybe it's a cultural like difference that we're not like we communicate differently. I hope that you can improve it, you know, because it sounds like you're trying to be a prick a lot of the time. It's you know, that's what's bugging people. But don't take it too bad, you know. Joe says, "Oh boy, that's fucking rich there that with all the nonsense you talk about the enlightenment. Oh man. Cult of Bigfoot, bro. Pokemon says, Mike Joe has seen one. I have seen one. Does that make us a cult? Yeah, that's weird, man. Watch your playlist called The Black Sun. It shows the concave Earth knowledge that debunks flat Earth easily. Concave Earth, aka hollow Earth, is bullshit, just like flat Earth. Are there big caverns? Yeah, there's big caverns, but there's no evidence for hollow Earth either. There's no evidence for flat Earth. You guys think you got evidence, but you really just got a bunch of bullshit. He calmed down a bit. Yeah. There's watching Ancient Aliens a lot and thinking that way. Yeah, Ancient Aliens was all about it was a lesson in confirmation bias. The whole show was. Like they were taking every piece of evidence and twisting it to aliens. You had fuzzy haired Tsoukalos, you know? What's his first name? Giorgio Tsoukalos. Tsoukalos. And he's always aliens. Everything's always alien. Instead of, rubbing some Occam's razor on the evidence and saying, okay, this is evident. Somebody did this. But what's more likely, that an ancient advanced civilization of humans did this shit, or the aliens come from somewhere else and come here to fuck with us, and then you got your whole Sitchin crap over here. Yeah, they use us to mine gold, which don't make any damn sense. Why the hell would you fly across the galaxy to enslave a bunch of hairless ground apes to find you gold on the surface of a planet when you could simply scan for a planetary core fragment floating through space, which has an extremely high concentration of all the nice metals, including that gold that you're looking for, and get amounts of gold from one chunk of rock that is 1,000 times more gold than what's on the surface of the planet that humans could possibly ever find for you. It's but see, that was an ethnocentric story he was telling. You can identify, he was thinking in terms of humans. Humans value gold, so he thinks aliens must value gold. Well, there's no reason to think aliens would have any value for gold, because if they are able to fly across the galaxy, they are able to acquire stupid amounts of gold with great ease. So it's not going to have a lot of value on it. It's not going to drive them to enslave some earth monkeys to try and get it for them. It's just so damn ridiculous. It's crazy. I've been in mind till proven wrong without a shadow of doubt. It's cultural. Yeah. Well, maybe. Rep says, at Angel, I can still got riled up somebody talking bull crap. Paprika? Mank says, if Bigfoot was real, why does videos people make are fuzzy and distorted, and we have HD 4K now, and no one gets any good video of anything Bigfoot? Makes no sense, bro. Wow. That's just funny that you don't believe in Bigfoot, but you believe the earth is hollow. You believe that we aren't actually looking out into space. We're actually looking in towards a void inside the this crazy, man. Gold, says Mr. Lee. Flyboy says, yeah, Hollow Earth theory sounded cool until the discovery of two changing masses came about. More gold, says Mr. Lee. Ernie says, why do you keep reading Mank Chat? He is a one-trick troll who wasted everyone's time. Yeah, I keep saying I'm going to stop reading it, but it's like a train wreck. You can't stop looking. Mr. Lee says, some more gold. And Jay says, he's wasting chat space, Lockbeard. Yeah, Mank. See, you're not going to be popular here, Mank. So you might as well take that bullshit elsewhere. You're welcome to hang out and chat and stuff, or listen, and But every chat, like look down to the chat, man. I'm all for a long chat message every so often, but every one of your messages is a long chat message of just bullshit. That one's actually kind of short for you. But look at it, they're all big and they're bugging people, and people like, if you keep on being a waste of space and I become more convinced that you're a troll, then hey, I maybe start getting an itchy trigger finger with with that ban button. Mr. Lee says Lockbeard Mank is just from Manchester. That's all different. He knows. Well, you might want to convince him to stop being such a mank, because he's pissing everybody off and he's borderline being a troll. And there comes a point where we got to ask ourselves, do we tolerate it anymore? Can't tell you why there is no clear picture videos, but I seen one in 1987, clear as day. You do not have to believe me to make it true. Well, all I can say is that if I'm in the woods and and I run across something, for one, we're not talking about just some animal. We're talking about something that I believe is every bit as intelligent as us, if not more so. And they've figured out that our cameras are something that they need to avoid. And I kind of wonder if government has established contact with these forest people, and that they every so often kind of brief them on shit to look out for, like cell phones. They've probably been briefed on it. I mean, if the government's not, they're admitting the UFOs, but they're not admitting the Sasquatch. That tells me the government wants to hide this for some reason. And the idea that they don't know they exist, I just find absolutely ridiculous. With the technology available to the government right now, there's no way they don't know that there's a race of wild hairy people out there. There's no way. It's just not even remotely believable. That is less believable than a lot of shit that gets said in this community. So, that makes me think the government actually regularly talks with them, helps them to hide from the rest of us. And they want to hide them for a reason. I don't know exactly why. We can theorize about that all day long, too. But anyway, if I'm out in the woods, and for one, they know I'm there. They know I'm there probably before I know I'm there. You know what I mean? They're that good. And if I'm trying to scramble to pull out a phone, there's no time to pull out a phone and get a picture. And if I do get a picture, it's going to be jerky, and it's not going to be a good picture. So there's a lot of things to talk about why it is the way it is. But, Joe says, that's funny. Someone saying something has no evidence to support it when all they do is talk about stuff they themselves believe that have no evidence for. Yep. Flyway says, now I'm hearing that gold prospector's voice from the outdoor channel in my head. There's gold. The dude pans playground sand from Lowe's. Yeah, some people have actually found a few flakes here and there in the sand. Sand from the hardware stores and stuff. But I haven't watched any prospector shows in a long time. Kind of got bored with them, but what's that one guy's name? Williams, and he's always on his. He's kind of acts goofy, and he always says, "So come on, let's go." And he's got this buddy co-star who's actually just a skeleton that is named Slim. Grasshopper says Lee. Adam Davies is from Manchester too. What's that say? Ball Earth is bleeding as a. Yeah. Mink. Don't just believe in Bigfoot. Grasshopper says, looked up to see Christopher Noel on a segment of The Unexplained. Irony maxed out. Really? That sucks. Chief Chick says, has Mank seen the Patterson-Gimlin film? Can't get more clear than Patty. If he denies Patty, he can kiss my ass. So saith Cheese Freak. Gary says, not true, because Bigfoot answers me when I call out his name, period. Mank says, spinning ball earthers just can't handle the truth and then call good truther trolls because they call people they disagree with. Whatever. You are trolling, dude. There's no way you believe this bullshit. Come on. You and your freaking first year flat earther, now you're a hollow earther, and you believe that the earth is a damn circuit board all at the same time. A circuit board. How can it be all those things? I don't know what that. Yeah, whatever, dude. Flyway says the problem with Bigfoot pics. For every pic taken, 10 million photo experts are instantly born. Yeah. Mr. Lee says, I have one gold tooth now, Lockbeard. I want my gold teeth. What, you want to turn them all gold? Flyway says he pans black sands. That's him. But he gets gold out of the California overflows where T2 was filmed each year. Huh. There's a shitload of videos and evidence debunking a spinning ball. No, there isn't. There isn't one. Not one of those videos. See, you don't understand what evidence is. You need to start with understanding what actually constitutes evidence, because there is zero evidence proving or debunking that the earth is a sphere. None. I mean, it's just crazy. Here I am, someone who thinks it's possible that the moon is an artificially constructed, basically like the damn Death Star up there under, but just covered in rocks. And you got me having to tell you, dude, you're nuts. Tuning G. Good evening, folks. Tuning out. Well, we're getting ready to wrap her up anyway. Ernie, thanks for coming. Sorry about the. Apparently, I think we got a troll. I think we got a straight up troll, because it's like he's just here to disagree with everything. Bank, settle down, please, says Jen. Miss Lee says, Ernie, good night. So, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about this whole UFO shit, I haven't wandered over to Old Bear's channel to see if he has made an angry video addressing me. Or maybe he figured out that maybe he just needs to stop doing that because he just gets a response like he got from me.
Fuck, you're old.
You know. But anyway. Joe says, okay, this is an instance where I have to call bullshit on something that is pure bullshit. I have circumnavigated the globe, dude. Joe, that is a lot of syllables for a guy like Mank. It'd be cool to, like, you know what? Like, even if, like, because I think it'd be cool to make the trip, except the polar circumnavigation, to actually cross, you know, the South Pole and the North Pole in the process. But even if you did that, they would say, "Oh, you're lying. You're part of the Illuminati. You're part of this. You know, or you didn't know where you were at. How do you know you were at the South?" They'll come up with anything. You know, it's like in that debate where the guy that we're talking about. Well, you know, how many hours of sunlight was in the country of Chile. And so his only way he could deal with that was to say, well, I've never been to Chile. I don't know that Chile's there. He denied the existence of the country of Chile to be a flat earther. Anyway, look at the subject. There's 100% of videos. Maybe 10 are real. The rest are fake. You have to research yourself. Mank equals troll says, yeah, I think so. Ancient art showing concave cosmology like ancient Egyptian art. Ancient people, just because ancient people drew some art, look, there's a lot of crazy art you can look at today. And, you know, 10,000 years ago, your great grandson, Mank the 18th, could look at those drawings and say, damn, that proves the earth was a splatter of multicolored paint, because some dude threw a bunch of multicolored paint on a canvas and called it art. I don't think it's art. I think it's just splattered paint. But you see what I'm saying? You don't know what that art means. It could be completely symbolic. It could have nothing to do with anything. You don't know. Hackles up, Mank. Got Jen's hackles up. You can never show. He can't do it. Joe, you what? Circumnavigated. Uncle Bones, Mank details the show. He knows what he's doing. He can be cool when he wants to be, just with he would. What? Uncle Bones says, Jay Fritz, it's like the bald guys in sheets at the airport back in the 70s. If you could portal jump, Mr. Lockbeard, which planet would you choose? Well, I don't know. Like, is this like a one-time trip? Because I ain't jumping to Mars just to suffocate, you know what I mean? Like, without knowing where I'm going, I don't know. Somewhere else on Earth, I guess, in that case. Means you have sailed around the globe. Circumnavigated. Oh, jeez, dude. For the same reason that when you're in a car traveling at a constant speed, you aren't pressed into the back of your seat. It's like you're sitting almost still. You can feel that you're moving, but you're not pressed into the back of the seat unless you're accelerating. But you're not accelerating. You're traveling at a constant rate of speed. It's basically that. Pretty simple concept, Mank. I probably shouldn't even waste my time because you're not going to listen. China Journal flights both are not my favorite. Stopping in for a minute. Welcome, Donald. Nikki says, yeah, you circled around something. What the hell? Jen, I know I don't see Mank as a total, as whole. Got your back, sister. What? Full of shit. Yeah, he is completely full of shit, I think. Life says, in a concave Earth, all balls would roll to the exact same spot on the planet. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's kind of like that deal about the flat Earth that people say if the Earth was flat, cats would have already knocked everything off of it. Anyway, I need to wrap this up. Uncle Bunce is down the floor. Hey, I hope I'm not too late. How was your movie last night?
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Yeah. Everybody remember all that nonsense. What is it? Like, subscribe, activate the notifications, comment, share, and maybe mind speak it, which you should say telepathic communication, telepathy. Makes it look to debate theories that are rubbish to enhance critical thinking to help break the lies of brainwashing. Truth is truth. I'm not buying that. Flyway, starting to think someone needs take some Charmin, circle Uranus, and capture the Klingons. What the hell? If gravity comes from a center point, your theory makes no sense. Send me that link. I live it. Love it. What link? Somebody talking about I didn't make it much past Nikki's live, says Donald. Anyway, yeah. Anything else, y'all? So maybe make a wander off, but I think that's all we got for tonight.
Here's $50.
Thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you next time.